Here we
Go
go.
ahead. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do
It says
it.
we're live. Where's the cam? It's gonna pop on there. Okay, there we are. Here we are. Let me get the. I have to make sure.
You're mic'd up.
Make sure you're mic'd up.
I am.
Okay, I wasn't. Uh-oh. He's tooting over there.
I wish I had a different Clark sound. It's the same one.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
sir.
Oh, Tomb of Ideas is here. He's first. Wiki Bobby is here. Neil is here. Cool, guys. So we'll give it a few minutes. We'll let the night owls creep in. And we usually chat on here between like 30 minutes to 60 minutes. And it's just hanging out with you guys. We thought we'd talk about some sci-fi movies, a sci-fi show that we found and we started watching.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
It is cool. So far, so cool. But we got, the last 4 remaining episodes out of the 8 to check out. Hopefully it'll pay off. I don't know.
And we could talk about the how some sci-fi movies and shows have horror elements. Sometimes they have scary parts.
Horror elephants? What's that?
Horror elements. Like scary parts.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Like Alien is a good...
Yeah, like Alien is super scary.
Example of like horror and sci-fi.
Yeah, Alien is way super scary.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Those Alien movies are good.
Yeah, the first 2 are really good. And
Yeah.
then they get kind of hit or miss.
A lot of people say they first saw Rocky Jones movies on MST3K.
Rocky Jones.
Yes, yeah.
Crash of the Moons, I know they did that one.
Yeah, that's another one.
Which not to be confused with Ozzy Osbourne Bark at the Moon.
Yeah, don't want to confuse those.
Yes. And sometimes you have that happen like in a shower, when you're showering with a bunch of guys. If you're not watching where you're going, you got a lot of soap in your eyes, you back up into each other, you Crash of the Moons.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it can happen.
Idiocracy is terrifying. Idiocracy is terrifying.
That is the scariest movie I've ever seen.
And some of that is...
Until 2020 came around.
Yeah, 2020 came around, and it looked like some of it was like coming to life.
We were living it, but that's just,
Yeah. Albert says, man, I need to find my thing of clear eyes. My eyes are dry.
From eating all that hot stuff.
It's the weather. I think, mine have been dry, too.
Dry eyes get clear eyes. Bueller.
Randall says, people, wake up, smash the thumbs up button, show your support. Oh, thank you.
What's wrong with you people out there?
Thank you, guys. Yeah, we just started, so, there's time. But yeah, please give us a thumbs up.
Smash the button.
What's Prince doing here?
He's hanging out.
We have a guest star on the show.
Yep, we have Prince and Barbara Papa hanging out. They're kind of shaped the same.
Oh, are they friends?
They jam together.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so let's get this started then.
He makes good spaghetti, that guy, Prince.
He does? Mm-hmm. I didn't know he made good spaghetti.
You ever heard of Prince spaghetti?
No.
Oh. Anyways.
I
don't even know if they make that anymore.
Hey, gang. Janet here.
Hey, gang. Grim here.
And you're watching The Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary
Hangover. Oh, I'm hungover. I'm drinking so much water tonight.
Yeah, all that water.
Oh, it is. That's all I've been having lately.
Me too. Yeah. That's okay. We're hanging out, whatever beverage you're enjoying.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So this is the show that's sort of like the after show or the wrap up type of a show, but it's not really a wrap up show because we talk about entirely different things than what we just showed. Why rehash that whole thing?
It's our after show.
Yeah. Show.
And yeah, we wrapped up episode 193.
Yeah.
And now we're going to talk about, sci-fi stuff.
I guess.
We played a cheesy sci-fi movie. We thought it would be appropriate to continue the sci-fi theme into The Hangover.
Yeah, so there you go. So it's sort of, it all sort of like, gels nice together, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so science fiction.
Yes, science fiction.
What's on the agenda?
Okay, so we haven't finished watching it, so please, no spoilers if you guys have seen it already.
Please.
But on Amazon Prime, there's a show that we're getting into and liking called Night Sky.
Yes. Starring J. Jonah Jameson and Carrie.
Sissy Spacek.
Oh.
And what's his name? J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Richard Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, not Richard Simmons.
Dang it, that would be better.
That would have been interesting if Richard Simmons was in this.
And Carrie.
With
the psychic powers and the bloody dress would be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is a science fiction show, and without giving anything away, and without you out there, if you've seen it, telling us what happens in the last bunch of episodes. I'm kind of intrigued by it. I mean, I don't know where they're going. I kind of have that Lost vibe, like the TV show Lost. I know you didn't watch that.
Yeah, that's a show I have never seen yet.
But I was really big into Lost, and I would read all the message boards and all the theories people had.
Right.
Had my own theories, and none of it. I don't know. Hopefully I don't ruin Lost for anybody, and I won't have to really say anything about how it really ended. But it wasn't what I thought it could have been, and a lot of people thought it was probably going more to a science fiction sort of ending. But it turned out to be a more metaphysical, spiritual thing, which was fine. I didn't mind the way it ended. A lot of people hated it.
Was it still entertaining, or did people not like it?
It was engrossing, like this show is. They were doing really weird things.
Are we engrossing, or are we just gross with the burps and farts?
A little bit of both, I would imagine.
Oh, okay.
But no, the show is very, Lost was very engrossing, and J.J. Abrams co-created that show. Mm-hmm. Who wound up doing the Star Trek movies and that movie 8mm and a bunch of other stuff, obviously. And he had this really cool style about what he was doing, and he had a really good, angle on doing some different stuff, telling stories in a different way.
Yeah.
And when, I'll get back to our show.
Real quick, Greg says, is that because people told you to get lost, Graham?
Probably. But that's okay. I'm used to that. But, and I think a lot of people felt lost watching the show Lost. And actually, the problem with that show, the main problem is it was only scheduled for a certain amount of seasons, mm-hmm. but it got so big that
where they had to keep the show going because it was selling advertising.
Yeah. It was a money-making machine.
It was making money.
So they go, can you extend it by a few seasons? They did, and there was actually a whole season that had nothing to do with the main characters. It was really weird, like going, what the heck's going on with this whole season of a side story? It was really weird. But they did it. They watered it down. And by the time it got to the end, everybody lost interest, and it was a little bit of a letdown. But I didn't mind it. But anyway, the show, Night Sky, has a lot of those same, to me, that same vibe. They're throwing this weird stuff out there, and they're not beating around the bush. I mean, unlike Lost, it's like goes right to it. It starts out, boom. It's science fiction. I mean, it's just what it is. But happening here on Earth with this sort of weird thing going on with.
So it stars, Sissy Spacek and J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
Or J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
And they're an older couple. They're retired. So it goes, you really see how their relationship is. It starts out, you just think, oh, how cute. They're this old retired couple.
She's like, let's go see the stars. And you're thinking, oh, they're going to go in the backyard with a telescope.
Yeah, like maybe he's going to take her out to the backyard and they'll sit on the patio and watch the constellations or something.
Or hit her in the head with a brick.
To go see stars.
Yeah, get it?
Oh, gosh.
That would have
or maybe they were going to go to Hollywood to go see stars.
Yeah, I mean.
There's different scenarios there. Yeah, just press that button.
I can't read anything on it.
Thank you, I got it.
I used to imagine that was something. But so they do this.
They have this secret thing going on in their shed.
It's an old bomb shelter, what it seems like an old bomb shelter in a shed.
Yeah.
And then they basically, I guess there's some sort of transporter buried under the ground that they could just go into and be transported to some space station where they don't even know where they are. God knows where. They're not on the moon or in our solar system. They're somewhere else. They don't know. They don't care. They just found this thing in their backyard.
And they're fascinated by it, and they like to spend time there and just watch the sky.
That's not giving anything away because this happens within the first 10 minutes of the show.
Yes, in this weird outer space, they don't even know what it is, but they go to it almost every night to look at it and observe.
Right. And there is a door there that the husband only threw a few mice. It was like an airlock, and the mice died, but they just never have gone past this door. It's just this big glass window that they could see this planet surface and then this multiple planets in the sky. So Anyway, so there's and the whole story unravels, and you find out there are other places around the world like this.
Yeah, where there's other portals around the world, and then you see like other families, like they
are the guardians of these portals. Yes, generational guardians.
They show like a family from Argentina where they are guarding a portal. They have like a little like a chapel with a hidden doorway.
Right. Yeah. Theirs is there, and it's everything's on the ground. And these at least go back to 300 years ago. Some pact was made between who knows what and humans back then, and we still don't. But that's all we know. I mean, and then there's other little things going on, but hopefully there's some sort of
we're like maybe 4 or 5 episodes.
We're halfway. It's 8 episodes. We've watched the first 4.
Okay, so we're halfway through. Yeah. I don't know if they made other episodes beyond the 8. Yeah. But I'm really liking it so far. Yeah. Are you liking it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll finish it up this weekend. And now, unlike the other show we were watching, what was that one with the hole in the ground with Thanos?
Oh, was that also on Prime?
It might be.
On Amazon Prime?
We kind of bailed on that one, but I'd still like to know.
We might have to get back into that one.
It wasn't bad.
We started watching it last year and we never finished it, and it was a real slow burn. It was.
Yeah, Josh Brolin plays a rancher who on his property is a giant mysterious hole.
And I don't remember the name of this darn show.
Oh, gosh.
But it's about this whole portal thing out in the country. They live out west. They have a ranch.
And another rich guy wants to buy the property because he knows there's something weird going on there. And basically, we got to the middle. We got about 4 episodes into that one, too. And they finally did see what was on the other side of this hole. It's an alternate universe or something like that.
Yeah, like maybe another dimension or something. Yeah, it's really weird.
It's cool because there are other versions of them down there that he died in that other version, and he gets out of the hole, but anything that falls in that hole never comes back. But it was interesting, and I'd like to finish it up. And
Outer Range?
Outer Range.
Yeah, Jared says Outer something, and
like
that made me think.
Space.
I think it's called Outer Range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the show with the guy that finds the giant hole in the ground.
He marries it.
Oh God.
Finally.
All right. All jokes aside, it's this weird portal to another dimension or something.
Portal, not porno.
Portal. A portal.
Yes.
I said that right. Okay. So there's a ton of comments
here.
We're going to read some comments.
Let's be interactive with this interactive show.
Let's see. I'm scrolling up here.
Scrolling. What? Keep scrolling. What?
People were saying, I saw someone saying that they were watching Picard, the newest Picard.
We did get to catch the first episode of season 3.
Yes.
At a Star Trek, a bunch of us got together at the Star Trek.
We watched the first episode, and it looks good so far.
Yeah.
We'll probably watch the rest of it later when we can get it from the library.
That's going to be like next year.
Well, it won't be that long. Probably
There's
like a few months
to do.
from now.
It ain't like we're sitting around waiting for that.
But we could finish up those other shows while we wait.
There's so many shows. We still got all kinds of stuff to watch. We never finished up Farscape. I got that sitting out there.
Oh yeah, the Peacekeeper Wars.
Yep, we got to finish that up.
Because I really hated the ending of the Farscape series. I was so mad.
Livid.
I was so mad because you devote all this time into the characters,
and they get vaporized.
And then they get vaporized at the end.
They get turned into like crystals. Weird.
Yeah, and it's like, what the hell?
And you're like, what's all this about? And they were actually going to sort of end it with that, I thought, from what I read. But then they had to come around with Peacekeeper Wars and finish it all up. Something happened with, actually, they wanted to finish it up, but the show lost funding. And they had to get I think it was one of those petition things, and people were really wanting to see the end of how everything ends. So Sci-Fi Network, they put together the end of the Peacekeeper Wars, or the end of Farscape with Peacekeeper Wars, and ended it all. So
yeah, so I'll have to watch that because I haven't seen the Peacekeeper Wars. I was great. Kind of new to Farscape. I remember seeing it briefly on the Sci-Fi Channel years ago when I was a younger mummy, and I guess at the time I didn't get into it because...
Comments, anything worth talking? I mean...
Yeah, I'm sorry. You were talking too.
Go ahead. I was waiting for you to cue something up.
John Biggins, Mel's Hole. Art Bell did a lot on that. Yeah, it's very similar to that.
I was going to compare it. I wouldn't know, but somebody doesn't. Yeah, Mel's Hole. I love those stories, and actually... I think you were listening the other day to this.
Jimmy also commented based on Mel's Hole.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I think it kind of has that kind of
The
vibe.
Mel's whole story. That's what I thought when I was watching. I was like, this is a ripoff of our Mel's whole stuff.
That's really out there. Those stories are so wacky.
But that guy, even though obviously it was all fake,
he's a good storyteller.
The storytelling was perfect.
Yeah.
He did everything right. All of those weird things about luring a sheep into... Well, the Mel's whole story was really cool because this guy says he's out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I forget where they said it was located.
Yeah.
But that there was this one guy named Mel said there was a hole that was sort of like a secret place where a lot of, these natives knew that where it was. But mysterious things would happen around these holes. The Basque people were protecting it. There's a group of people called the Basque, who are actually like European or some sort of like from over that way that came out and they settled in America
from the old country.
Yeah, I can't even spell the word "bas." It's not what you think. It's not B-A-S-K. It's spelled differently. But anyway, there's people that were guarding this hole. That they were throwing all kinds of stuff down there at one point, like refrigerators, and they couldn't hear the bottom of it. But the cool thing was the weird thing was, and this is where the guy got really interesting, and it was so strange, you want to believe it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But they lowered a sheep down the hole, and they bring the sheep back up, and it was like convulsing and twitching, but it very quickly gave birth to a fetus. They said it looked like a seal with human eyes. And the seal, was really weird, and it flopped back down into the hole, and they never saw it. And Mel said his whole thing was like, well, I was diagnosed with some sort of cancerous tumor. And then when he went to the doctor after the incident, he said that the tumor was gone.
That's strange.
He thought that animal sort of absorbed his tumor and gave birth to it.
Ooh.
And it was alive, and it went back to the... But really fascinating stories.
John says they threw a dead dog in Mel's hole, and it came back alive.
Yes.
Supposedly.
And the other Mel's hole story, too, is they lowered a bucket of ice, like gas station ice, into the hole and brought it up, and they said it was black, and that it had like a lot of heat to it, and this one guy was heating his house with it for a long time, and
oh my goodness,
weird
stories.
So
many wacky stories.
But told.
Did they ever get photos or evidence?
Of course not. Every time Art Bell asked for a photo, well, I don't really have a camera, or my son might take a picture. Now you can't get away with that excuse because
now everyone has a camera on their phone.
Your toaster has a phone, or has a camera on it. Everything has a camera. I don't hear that. But that was told right before cell phones were a big thing. Digital cameras were still kind of expensive. And of course, he had every excuse. The only thing he said that was supposed to check out was Google Earth was a thing back then, I believe it or not.
Oh, it was new then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google Earth was new then.
And he did direct Art to that Google Earth image, and supposedly Art went on the air. I didn't look it up, but he goes, oh my God, you're right. But they didn't show the hole. They said that wherever it was missing. There's like a missing part of the Google Maps. Like the chunk was cut out, so you couldn't even see it. Whatever. And I think that I'm pretty sure there was a second hole they talked about too.
Jared says, "Excuse me, my toaster is calling."
Everybody knows that 2 holes are better than 1.
Wow. Okay then.
So
David says, "Sounds like a script to a film on the Mummy and the Monkey."
No, it was made into that Outer Range show. I mean, they pretty much stole that idea.
So David, if you weren't following or just popped in. We were talking about a show on Amazon Prime called Outer Range that we never finished watching. And it was about a guy that has a ranch. He lives out west, finds this massive hole on his property that is like a weird portal to like another dimension, and like weird stuff happens. Yeah,
it's done well. I mean, we just have to finish it up. But we're talking about science fiction.
So we're talking about science fiction stuff.
Some sci-fi. One of my favorite sci-fi.
Randall says Farscape, great show. I'm also a big fan of Stargate. Other people were saying that they liked Lex.
Yeah, well, that's
another sci-fi show.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. And a lot of people are, Kirk's saying Mandalorian's good. He likes Mandalorian.
The new season's out. Started a couple days ago. Came out on Disney Plus. We have that. We need to watch it. I like the Mandalorians. I didn't like the Book of Boba Fett so much. I thought that was kind of weird. But the Mandalorians were okay.
Yeah.
I thought Book of Boba was
Mandalorian's okay, yeah.
The only good, the first Mandalorian is awesome. It was very good. Had a very Western feel to it.
The Star Wars stuff is okay enough. Like, I'll watch it a little bit.
It's not all good, though.
But it's not really my thing. I like Star Trek stuff better. Sorry. I like Star Trek stuff better.
I have an affinity for both of them. I mean, I thought what they did with Star Wars was pretty classic, and they you know, on top of the innovative effects and everything, which were still very practical at the time.
Oh, okay.
They did very little CGI. They did a lot of matte stuff, and they did things with the ships that were they weren't even CGI. Those were all models, and they did some interesting stuff on how they had to film the space battles. Yeah, this was pre-CGI Star Wars, so you gotta love it for that.
And David Phillips says, I mentioned earlier the Ark on Sci-Fi Channel started a few weeks ago and is promising.
The Ark.
The Ark. I'll have to look that
so
one
much
up.
Stuff.
I don't know if we still have that channel. We got rid of a lot of channels.
There's X-Files, science fiction.
X-Files is sci-fi.
Yep.
And it has scary elements too. Like when they have they would used to do the Monster of the Week for a while.
Yeah.
And some of those were scary.
The Fluke.
They were cool though.
The Fluke was great. The guy lives in a sewer.
Yes. The X-Files, one of my favorite TV shows.
Still holds up. Still a good show.
Yeah, and they do repeats of it on the Comet channel.
Yep, Comet TV.
So sometimes I will put Comet on and doze off to Mulder and Scully.
One of my favorite, like, you're talking about, like, TV produced or Sci-Fi Channel was, I think it was, actually it wasn't Sci-Fi, it might have been Fox, Fox might have been Sliders.
Sliders?
Yeah. Had nothing to do with White Castle.
Has nothing to do with the mascot slider?
The burgers, or the
Guardians mascot.
Now the Guardians mascot now. Has everything, it's the time travel thing.
Oh,
it was real cheesy, but I liked the way it was done. Somewhere I have the whole series, like I bought the big, giant, the whole complete series DVD somewhere. They'll turn up.
Tomb of Ideas says loved Sliders.
That was a great show. It was fun, you know.
Yeah.
And they even switched up to Carrie War, put her in there, made it even better.
Greg says, I'm waiting for Laser Cats to come out.
Was that really going to be made? I don't know. They're making everything. I wouldn't doubt if they really did it.
And Lois says, H&I runs all the Star Treks every night except Saturday. It's my kind of comfort TV. Yeah, those old Star Trek shows are great.
I mean,
they're fun.
Give me any of those things. I love Star Trek, Next Generation, of course. You know, we'll watch those on the old VHS tapes I taped off of TV with the commercials and everything.
Before they would, like, replay, well...
No, they replay them, but
maybe I just didn't get the channel or something. But, yeah, sometimes we'd watch them on tape.
Well, you watch them when you want to, you know, not wait for them to come on. But we have some of those on tape. I used to tape the heck out of that show. And loving Picard, you know what they're doing with that's very good.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll catch up with Picard later on because we've got those other shows going on. But yeah, it's looking good so far. We saw the first episode of the new season.
Right. They're not really breaking any new ground, but it's entertaining to see those guys. You know, especially in this third season, they're all gonna a lot of them are gonna come back. What I do love about the new Picard stuff is how they make Data. Well, it's not Data. It's Data's ancestral creators. A total dick.
Yes.
I mean,
because Data was so super nice,
sweet, nice, and
the guy who created him was just a total a-hole.
And his descendants were all jerks. You know, the people that came before Dr. Soon was, but even it was Dr. Soon created Data. But I think that if I'm not mistaken, in Picard, well, there's who would Soon is that?
What?
I'm trying to think, but that happens. Well, anyway.
Well, that's okay. We could read some more comments and talk about something else.
But he's a jerk. I love it.
I didn't say that.
No, I said Data's the creator's a jerk,
I thought
and I love it.
you said you called me a jerk, and I love it. I was like, what?
Read the comments.
I remember watching Star Trek when it was new, says Greg. And then
Star Trek.
Albert says, you know, where Star Trek, I haven't really strayed very far from the original series.
Oh, well, I would say Next Generation's very, very good.
Yeah, watch all of them sometime. It's fun.
The worst one, in my opinion, was Deep Space Nine, but
it's still likable.
It's a little...
It's still likable. It's just, not as good as the others, but still likable. Lex was great, says Ron.
Somebody keeps bringing Lex up.
Yeah, he's like the third or fourth person to bring up Lex.
There's a chick in it, basically.
Well, there's chicks in every sci-fi show.
Yeah, but I think she was scantily clad and everything.
There's scantily clad chicks in every show.
I know, but I'm saying that's why. No, but this had a lead one. That's why I like it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see. Data's brother, Laurie, is the worst. Okay.
Oh, that's Lore, not Laurie.
Laurie. I was thinking like Peter Lorre.
Lore was he was an evil Data, but like I said, they could have easily obviously they didn't make because I think Dr. Soon was kind of a jerk too, like in the Next Generation or something like. Actually, I thought he was sweet, Dr. Soon. It was Lore that was the bad guy, right? That was the jerk. That was his brother. And then, but then they're making all the people anyway. But you'll see.
Let's see.
What other good sci-fi show?
I'm looking at
you know what I need to.
You
know what we need to drink in are the 2001: A Space Odyssey, because when
Battlestar Galactica, says Gary Smith. And John says, ever watch Stranger Things? Yes, we did.
Yes, we haven't seen the last season, which everyone was,
we watched. Yeah, we watched most of it up until the last season.
So lots of stuff going on my head.
Yes.
One more recent science fiction one was Paper Girls. We watched.
Yeah, we did watch Paper Girls. Maybe a few months ago, and it wasn't that good.
It started out interesting, then it kind of just didn't. It just got weird. And
it involved time travel, and it had like a Cleveland connection because the one girl, she's supposed to be like a paper. Well, they're all paper delivery girls from
Ohio.
Supposed to be from Cleveland, Ohio, in the 1980s.
Didn't look anything like Cleveland, but all right.
It didn't. They think they filmed it in Georgia or something.
Can't fool Cleveland.
Because they're like riding their bikes through these places, and I'm like, that's not Cleveland.
And the opposite
is
true. And the opposite is true whenever they shoot something in Cleveland and they say it's New York. You're from Cleveland. You're like, hey, there's the Halley Building, or hey, that's downtown. You can't fool us.
Well, that's like when they filmed that one scene of the Avengers, and it's supposed to take place in Germany.
It looks not. And it's the Terminal Tower.
And I'm like, there's a Terminal Tower. That's not Germany.
Hey. Nuremberg, Germany. No, that's the public square, Cleveland, Ohio.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so weird because you're so used to seeing that.
But if you're from that town, and it's like, no.
But the opposite is true when they say, hey, this is Cleveland. You're like, that ain't Cleveland.
No, that ain't Cleveland.
They did another movie called, it was the Irishman, Kill the Irishman.
Yeah.
Was it Kill the Irishman about the Danny Green? Yeah.
Was that? Did that have to do with the Torso murders?
No, nothing to do with that at all.
Oh, okay.
Danny Green was an Irish mobster guy who was a 70s Cleveland thing, and it was called Kill the Irishman because the Irishman is the De Niro Pacino movie. It was good, but they filmed a lot of it in Detroit. And when you're watching, it took place in Cleveland. You're like, that's not a Cleveland neighborhood.
That's stupid.
Those weird little differences.
It takes it away from.
But but if you're from Cleveland, you're like, eh.
That's not the same.
Anywhere else they wouldn't know. But it's interesting how you know your place.
Yeah, I never saw that movie.
It wasn't bad.
John Biggin says there's many YouTube channels where they look up where movies were filmed. That's a good idea. Late horror shows here.
Dino.
Hey, Janet and Grim watched Pete's video and got me thinking of Beware video where I rented something weird videos. Hope all is well.
Hey, congratulations, dude, on your 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're racking up the subscribers, and he's still doing those fun radio shows and the movie reviews.
Yeah, we're only like 95,000 subscribers away.
Oh, is that all?
That's about it. We'll get there in a few more 100 years.
But yes, our buddy 42nd Street Pete.
Yes.
He puts out some great content. He's like he knows all things Grindhouse. He lives and breathes Grindhouse, and he's an older gentleman. He's 70 now. So yeah, he's got a lot of life experiences he talks about.
He's what you call the real deal.
Yes, the real deal of Grindhouse, and he did a good video about something weird video.
And he worked there when it was 42nd Street in New York City. He worked
for New York City Liquidators, and he has some cool stories about the New York City Liquidators.
He didn't pass through and do and look around and write a no.
And the different movie theaters from that area. So yeah, check out 42nd Street Pete on YouTube.
Yes.
If you go on our YouTube channel and scroll down on the bottom, we have friends of our channel, and I believe Pete's on there. I believe Dino's on there from the Late Horror Show. And I think there's a few others we need to add.
Yeah.
Some other YouTube channels,
but tons of stories. The guy, he's a natural born storyteller. There's no fumfering around. He just tells it like it is.
Oh yeah.
And like it was or how it was. But yeah, good stuff, Pete.
Yep, and I just saw him Tuesday.
Yep.
Visited him and the doggies.
Yep. So there's so again the beauty of the internet is that it's getting taken more seriously, as we found out earlier this week. Mm-hmm. We won't get into anything, but yeah, it's the power. It's not a bad. There was a time. Let me just say this. There was a time where you would tell people, or you hear people say, "Hey, you can watch my YouTube channel," and people go, "Ah, what's that? The internet. Anyone could do that."
Well, now it's
It seems to have a little more
clout.
A little more juice.
Like, oh, you're on YouTube. Let me look you up.
Yeah.
Or what's your Instagram? You know, people are more open to it now.
Well, they see it as a valid form of entertainment.
Well, what do people do most of the day now when you see them out and about in public?
They carry their television around with them. Basically, their whole information and entertainment.
All day, that's some,
games, shows, shows, everything streams.
We're all guilty of it from time to time. You're scrolling through.
I mean, I was just watching. I had a laptop open with, not even hooked up to a power source, just to the Wi-Fi, and I'm streaming this channel, and I'm watching. I'm like, this is great. This is the greatest thing.
Yeah.
I could tune in just about whatever I want.
Okay.
And watch it.
Real quick, there's comments. Albert, thank you for the super chat. Good to see you, Janet and Grim. Couldn't make it for the movie, but I caught the Hangover. Nice to see you, Albert.
You can always watch the replay.
You can watch the replay. Rebel Ghoul's going to log off her phone. See you guys at Cinema Wasteland. And she's going to try to watch Frankencoop tomorrow.
Yes, get up, get your bowl of cereal, and watch the Frankencoop show. 8 a.m.
And hopefully you feel better soon, Miss
Did
Rebel
I say
Ghoul.
8 p.m. again earlier?
8 a.m.
Earlier, did I say 8 p.m.? I said 8 a.m.,
I
right?
think you might have.
In the morning. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, you get the times mixed up.
Why do I mix up 8 a.m.?
I think you've got like a I don't know. Sometimes you do.
Nighttime gets me.
It's like the opposite of what, I don't know. It's silly. You're silly. We love you, girl.
8 a.m. in the morning.
It's nice to have control over what we consume now, says Jared.
Well, yeah.
Yes, it's nice that you have many choices.
Well, we talked about that, I think, once, too, about how the cable companies used to have you by the conies. They, and if you wanted to get certain things, you had to upgrade. They had the different tiers.
You had to buy all those wacky, packages, and they would overcharge you.
I wish you could buy wacky packages, but yeah. Well, what they would do is that, if you like sports, that would be in a higher tier, a pay tier, Now, if the thing is with other stuff, you don't even need to. You're like, oh well, I like 100 other things, and you can just watch them instead of worrying about one stupid thing.
Yeah.
And you can cherry pick your own shows and watch them whenever you want. And then other people do that. There's other ways to get stuff which I don't agree with, but there's other ways to do things. I like to pay for it.
Or just go to the library and get them.
There's that option too. Gosh.
Our tax dollars at work. Go to your local library and get movies and shows.
You'll wait a little longer, but
that way you don't have to. That way you don't have to. Pay for 20 different streaming services.
Or buy something that you don't like, if it's a DVD or something like that. Or
try it out, and then see if you like it.
I dig it. I mean,
just remember to return them when you're done.
We've got some stuff I'm looking forward to watch. We got Black Adam to watch. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet.
Stuff comes out so fast to home video now.
It does.
It's worth waiting.
Home video. That makes me think of the VHS little coming soon to home video.
It is at your home and you're watching it on a video playback device. It's video.
It just reminds me of the VHS.
That's why I used it. I like the retro.
It's nostalgic.
The
it's
retro
fun.
speak, yeah. But there's so much cool stuff out there to watch, and there's that's the problem. I think there's just so much good stuff now. It's like, where do I start?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Have we addressed the science fiction stuff?
So science fiction, we talked about it a little bit. We could get back into that topic. We were talking about science fiction movies and shows that had some scary elements. Alien is very scary.
Yep. The first one especially is very scary.
And it's funny, I was watching the Mad Bloods interview with Dick Dysel, who played Count Gordeval.
Oh, good one.
And in an interview, he said that Alien is his favorite scary movie.
Really?
And it's also a sci-fi film.
You get 2 for 1.
So it's a 2-for-1, and it is a legit, real scary movie.
Yes, it is a frightening movie. The atmosphere in that movie, it's so. The tension and it's not right. It's not some science. It's like 2001 with a monster running around. At the space station. It's crazy.
A little bit, yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, it's not, and no one, and the tagline, no one can hear you scream in outer space.
The fact that you've got that going on and you're kind of stuck out there and you're isolated.
There's no 911.
It's like you're screwed, and this alien creature is going to try to eat you.
Yeah, I love it.
Or lay her egg in your belly.
And then, the totally different tone, obviously, from the original to the with what's his name did to Aliens.
Yeah.
So it's like but Aliens is an awesome movie in itself.
Oh, that one's really good too.
It's more of an action movie, but the first Alien more of a horror movie.
So there's a ton of comments.
Go on, let's.
Kirk says I worked at Blockbuster.
Good.
We missed Black Adam 2, says Lois.
Yeah, I heard. I just want to see it.
And she said, if you haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, wait till streaming. It's not all that.
Yeah, I've heard,
They didn't think it was that good.
But I'll watch anything. We still haven't seen Eternals. We still haven't seen, there's so much Marvel. She-Hulk miniseries we haven't seen yet.
Yes.
We're really bad. Wakanda Forever, haven't seen that yet. But I just saw that on Blu-ray.
Predator, says Raymond. That's also a sci-fi and scary. Yeah.
And I love the Aliens versus Predator movie.
Yes.
To me, it's one of those. It's not a guilty pleasure. I thought it was done right. It's very, very much like a comic book, which I liked. It wasn't. A lot of people didn't like it, but the Queen Alien fight at the end, so good. Running around the snow, it was so awesome. I loved it.
How about the Outer Limits?
Now you're talking about TV shows.
Now we're going back to the shows.
Outer Limits. I haven't. That's the weird thing. Twilight Zone. Oh, I love it. I grew up with it. Outer Limits, for whatever reason, wasn't shown. It might have been shown here in Cleveland growing up, but I don't remember it on all the time.
I don't remember watching it that much. I've seen some episodes, but I haven't seen all of them. I remember Twilight Zone, I think, was on TV more.
All the time. Yeah, I don't know why Outer Limits
didn't get the right time. They used to replay those a lot.
But we do have a box set of Outer Limits, so we should pop those in one night.
Oh, yeah.
I love anything science fiction.
I also want to see, because we've played some of the episodes on our show of One Step Beyond, and what was the other one? Lights Out.
Lights Out.
That one was more paranormal stuff, ghost stories, but what was the other one? One Step Beyond had some sci-fi stuff too, mixed with some like paranormal stories.
They did an okay job. It was a pre-Twilight Zone show.
They were both pre-Twilight Zone shows.
Yeah, and Rod Serling just like amped it all up and he had such a different twist on things. His writing was just a total different thing.
Yeah.
And you almost don't need to watch Lights Out, and even though it's fun, Twilight Zone just decimates the storytelling.
Well, I like the 50s simple vibe and the introduction of Lights Out.
Yeah, I mean, in lieu of anything else, it's not bad to throw in. But I mean, if I had to choose,
I just wish the film was preserved better, because it's like kind of. Some of those old shows are like really blurry and grainy.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do about it? At least you have them. I mean, there's so much stuff that we lost out there that we'll never see. I'd take any version of it.
John Bacon says, I like those One Step Beyonds you showed.
Yeah, people seem to really like them.
Yeah, they're fun.
Because maybe it's because they haven't seen them and they're very Twilight Zone-esque. And it's like seeing something new, but old.
Alien vs. Predator was good, says Raymond. Yeah.
I liked it. A guilty pleasure of mine, speaking of aliens, is one of the prequels, Prometheus.
And then, Lisa and both Gary are saying Goulardi used to show episodes of Outer Limits once in a while.
I'm sure he did, yeah.
And then go back to Prometheus.
Oh, that's one of my guilty pleasures.
You like that one?
I don't know why I like it.
But you do.
You didn't see it?
No, I don't remember. Or, unless if you put the movie in and I
fell
fell asleep
during that one.
Some movies I don't end up watching all the way through. I'll fall asleep on the couch.
I think I love the concept of it, that planets are seeded by these godlike things, these beings who create. I mean, what they did was they went ahead and tried to say that the movie Prometheus is a prequel to the Alien movie. You know that shot of the giant guy in the chair. Yeah. And the big gun and he's got the face mask and everything. Well, that's these guys. They're the creators, and they're sort of like these godlike. They almost look. They remind you of the Roman statues that are all white marble, where they have the white. You know how they look. Oh
yeah.
They look a little like
kind
that.
What was that, like stoic? Like
they're very. To me, they have that sort of Roman nose, but they have black eyes, but their skin
kind of like a creepy, powerful.
Their skin is just total this cold white flesh.
Oh, okay.
And but that they create, that they go and they seed these planets and seed life, and they're sort of like the progenitors of all life in the galaxy. And but there's some really interesting moments in this movie that I think are great. I think Ridley Scott must have did these too. And but then there's some really dumb things they do in this movie that drive me absolutely insane. The one part where the woman's impregnated and with the alien baby, but she goes to this abortion machine basically that takes the baby out of her and it staples her up, and she's running around the spaceship next minute. Like, how? There's not even a healing ray to help.
And not like, ow, ow, ow.
Yeah.
I just had surgery.
I got time to bleed. She's Jesse Ventura from Predator. But
Tony Beller says the original Thing, horror and sci-fi.
The both of them. The original Thing, the old...
or the John Carpenter one. They're both good.
People love the Carpenter one.
Yeah, that one's really good.
It's awesome. I mean, it's probably one of the few reboots that I think really do the original justice, and where they're both good. You know, it's not just a hack reboot. You know, it's its own thing, and it's really good.
And Marty says, I don't know why you liked Prometheus either, Grim. Way too long to be so lousy.
There are I don't know. Like I said, it's a guilty pleasure. It's one of those ones I'll pop in every now and again and just watch it for what it is. I think it's done beautifully. The script is goofy, as you know. They do goofy stuff. And I think the worst thing in that movie, though, is when the spaceship that is taking off, it gets shot down, and it lands, and it rolls like a giant, it looks like a horseshoe, the spaceship. And, of course, it lands and starts rolling on the planet. And, of course, one of the people are just right in the path of it. Like, what are the odds of that? And I think it crushes them like a giant wheel. It's stupid. You know, I don't know. Some stuff is just wacky.
A lot of newer movies aren't.
But Ridley Scott is not new to making movies. He made the first Alien movie.
Yeah, well.
How do you screw this up?
I don't know. Somehow.
If he did, I think he did this movie, right? Everybody, I could be mistaken.
Okay, so Tony says Jason X was a horror, slasher, and sci-fi. Yeah, Jason in Space.
I like that movie.
Technically, yeah, I like it too. It's a guilty pleasure.
It was so different from the other ones.
Because it's so like cheesy and out there. Like, okay, he's in space now. Well, it's like the 10th sequel. Why the hell not?
Why
you know?
not take it way different?
Well, I mean, why not just be over the top with it? And they were. It was just over the top, wacky. Like, okay.
If nothing else, it just shows that Jason is it's like Michael Myers. They're not human. They're supernatural.
Yes.
You can't kill them. They're evil incarnate.
He just keeps coming back. Yeah.
You can't, you can slice him, you can dice him, and it doesn't matter. He's back for more, baby.
Jason's back.
You can't kill what's already dead, as they say.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
He's vengeance and you can't destroy it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just fun.
Let's see here.
Bloody good fun.
Prometheus had both good and bad points, says Raymond.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you could, that could probably be re-edited and made into a way better movie.
It had good points for me because I guess it helped me fall asleep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it must have been, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to give it another chance one day,
you know,
but I doubt it.
Like with any zoologist or alien, what they call it, biologist, you don't go pet, especially something that looks like a cobra. A species come here, you little thing. No one would do that. And the guy got what he deserved, this white cobra thing. Who would know? I mean, a garter snake would scare most people. This thing
so
is like
he goes to pet this alien creature that he probably shouldn't be touching in the first place.
It jumps into
because you don't know what germs it has or whatever.
Anything. I mean,
all sorts of different things going on there.
The only thing missing was the word "dumb" tattooed on his forehead.
And then the thing attacks him.
It gets into it
goes under his skin.
You would close your eyes. It just breaks every bone in his body.
Ew.
It just crushes the guy from the inside out.
I've got you under my skin.
It's pretty violent. But it's like, well, of course, what did you think was going to happen, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't go petting strange alien creatures.
No, there's a lot of dumb stuff in it, unfortunately. But what I don't understand is that these movies are storyboarded, they're planned out, they're written, rewritten, treatments to the script, blah, blah. And to get everybody together to make such a grand, sets and special effects, but the script,
Yeah. Oh, John's asking about the Smile movie. Yeah, so we watched Smile together.
Watched it.
It's not really a sci-fi.
I've seen better stuff.
But it's a horror film, and we could talk about it because it's more current.
But it turned into a Marilyn Manson video at the end. It was just stupid.
There's parts about it that I liked.
Yeah.
There's parts about it, like the ending, that I thought were stupid. Now, the Marilyn Manson puppet-looking thing at the end, this is a spoiler alert, sorry guys, looked cool, but it looked like it didn't belong in the movie.
It didn't.
It didn't belong in the movie at all, and it didn't make any damn sense. And what I hated was they never explained exactly what it was that was affecting the people. Yeah,
they did. They showed it to you.
Was it that?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, and they did that stupid
or is that just something she's seeing taking the form of that? Does it take other forms?
In her mind, that's
we
what she
don't know
saw.
if it was a demon or what, but something was like. So the movie is about. Let's start this. There's a lady who's a therapist. She's a doctor who works in the ER, like when
the psych ward.
When people have mental breakdowns in emergency mental situations.
Right.
And she goes and helps them, and she works long hours. And you see, they go to a flashback scene of her as a kid, and she finds.
It opens up with her dead mother on the bed.
Yeah, with her mom. As a kid, she finds her mom dead on the bed.
Yeah.
So then later on, she becomes a therapist because she wants to help people.
Yeah.
Because I guess her mom had issues. So she's working a long day. She's ready to go home, but has one more patient come in. This girl comes in. She's really distraught, young lady, and she keeps saying that she's seeing things, and they're telling her things, and there's something that's going to kill her.
You won't believe me, but I'm telling you, only I could see it.
Only I could see them. So of course they think, oh, well, you're hallucinating. You're very disturbed. Whatever the case may be. And the young woman's trying to explain, like, look, I don't have a history of this. I'm not normally like this. There's something that's trying to kill me.
And the actress playing the doctor is Kevin Bacon's
daughter.
Kevin
Bacon's daughter, Saucy?
Saucy? I think it's either, it might be pronounced Susie.
So Susie, but it's like S-O-S-I-E.
Which is weird because her last name is Bacon. It could
That'd
be like
be funny
Suey,
if it was like Saucy Bacon.
Or Suey. Suey. You know, come on.
Sosie Bacon? Yeah. I don't know. But
Anyway.
That's Kevin Bacon's daughter. She's a wonderful actress.
Yeah, good actress.
And she sees this patient kill herself.
Right in front of her.
Smiling the whole time.
Well, yeah, she does
in a very creepy way. Yeah.
So this thing, it feeds off of torment and off of violence. And it passes itself to its next victim by looking at you, smiling. And when you witness this horrible death, it then passes into and then the only way to get it out is they find out is to kill somebody else. But then you go to jail for that.
Yes, because they found a guy that he
got rid of that.
He got rid of it, but then he's in jail for the rest of his life.
Because he had to murder somebody and liked it. But the key is you have to like doing it. You can't just murder somebody, like close your eyes, shoot somebody, and then it's gone. You have to revel in the death. It has to be as violent as possible.
Yeah, so it's like this really weird thing, but then they don't say, like, they kind of hint that it might be a demon when she goes to visit the wife of the one guy who ended up killing himself while smiling and being all possessed and weird. He had some weird drawings that looked demonic, but they don't, like, I guess she doesn't really figure out what happens.
Well, the annoying thing about this movie is that,
or like how to break the cycle, or how to actually.
Here's and it drives me nuts. We kept pointing this out. So she's this therapist who's very calm and collected. In the beginning, she's talking to the patient, asking all the questions she has to ask. And when it happens to her, she methodically figures out, with the help of an ex-boyfriend who's a cop, that there's a pattern here. Yes. But when she goes to explain this pattern to her sister, she loses it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna, you don't know. Oh, what are you mad at me? It gets this really weird. It's like, well, why don't you take a breath and explain to her, like you are trained to do, what's going on. Say, look, I'm just going to show you what I found.
All of her medical training just went out the window.
On multiple occasions.
And she like flipped out.
There's two scenes.
And she didn't explain it right to even have someone try to help her.
One where she walks into the room with her fiance there and her therapist, because as you know, therapists have therapists and it never ends. Because of all the stuff you hear, you have to vent to somebody else because it could drive you crazy or whatever. But her fiance, who thinks she's crazy, does like an intervention by bringing her therapist over to the house. She walks in on them. She goes, what is this? She loses her, and doesn't go, look, I'm glad you're here because look what I figured out.
She doesn't show them the pattern.
Oh, you don't think that you think I'm crazy?
Because they were able to find out that there's like a whole pattern of people who have done that. And then if you witness this suicide, then like you... Yeah, get possessed.
So she takes this evidence and goes to her sister's house and then does the same thing. Gets an argument about how the sister was not there for the mom, and it gets derailed. It's like, gosh, and I know they had to do that because if she could explain it, then it might help her.
Kirk says it's because she lost her mind. She goes, come on, that was part of it.
But
but why did she have? At the same time, she's had years of this medical training, how to talk to people.
She goes to the cop's house and explains to him, and he didn't believe her, but she's like, but just do this for me.
Well, she asked him to look up some names.
In a very calm way, and they did. And he goes, hey, this is weird. Yeah. Then he starts to see. print all that stuff out for me. Now what cop's going to print out all those murder pictures?
Well, I guess he did. It's a movie. It's a movie.
I know.
So.
But there's a lot of look. I've seen better movies. I have not seen It Follows, but we do have that. I want to see. I hear good things about that one. But there's another movie called Fallen.
I haven't seen that
with
one yet.
Denzel Washington, where it's like where the thing.
It's
passes.
something similar.
Yes,
okay.
there's a lot of movies that are done way better than that movie.
Yeah, so it started out really interesting, but as the movie progressed, in my opinion, you guys can have your own opinions. That's cool. You could put it in the comments if you want. But towards the ending, I was like really just annoyed with it. I didn't like the ending.
Unlike the movie Get Out, which we sat there. We were like, it's a sensibility thing too. Like, I guess that's how I would make a movie.
Yeah, I really liked Get Out. It was just perfectly done.
It had so much good stuff going on, and we've already talked about it in the past.
Right? Yeah, we've talked about it a couple times.
But for me, that to me is a good example, in my opinion, of a really well put together movie. Had some things happen that I'd never seen before, and actually didn't turn out to be what I thought it was going to be, which I always love, and had a great ending and had some interesting characters in it that that were just amazingly written.
Yes.
And I like to watch a movie like that and get something out of it and go places I never would have thought, and sit there and go, yep. And it even ended exactly the way I hoped it would.
Okay,
that kind of thing.
So let's read some comments and then let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
in a
this
few
is a
minutes.
good one. This is a good talk.
I think so, but I'm getting tired.
That's okay.
I'm
You don't have
sorry,
to admit
guys.
that. That's kind of a lame. Don't
I'm
say that.
admitting it. The mummy's a little tired.
Yeah,
right now.
every time you say that.
Okay.
You probably shouldn't do that.
Sorry. Okay, Nope was better than I expected, says
I haven't seen it yet, but
we haven't seen it
I've
yet.
heard bad stuff about it, but I still want to see it to know.
Mixed reviews, but it's Jordan Peele, so
It's supposed
I
to be
like his
sci-fi.
movies.
Ish,
Yeah.
I guess.
What was the other one with the
Peele?
Yeah.
Us?
Us. I liked that one. That one was more sci-fi.
I didn't like that.
It was kind of a horror film, but kind of sci-fi.
It could have been a half-hour sort of.
It kind of reminded me of like a Twilight Zone episode. I liked it.
I thought it was a little overdone. I didn't like it.
Eastside Motel 6 says, have you both heard anything on when your Wasteland time slot will be? I'm not sure. I think they're still working out the schedule.
Well, they're still working on the schedule. We're going to shoot. We just got everything done for our project for what we're going to submit. Working with a filmmaker, and we're not going to talk about it until we actually have the physical Blu-rays in our hand.
Yeah, they're still working on the schedule, and we have to get the disc out to the convention promoter.
Before that, we were we had the 4 or 5 o'clock slot on Friday, right? The first.
We used to have the Friday slot. Now we're Saturday morning.
Not Saturday morning, like around 10,
usually,
10 a.m.
So I don't know if it's still that.
We don't know. This movie probably should
sure.
be shown at night, if you ask me, but we'll see.
That would be a better one for an evening showing.
I think, and this latest project is so tight. It's got we hosted Wraps with us interviewing the filmmaker, who wanted us to put skits in it. So there's 3 skits of our classic skits within the movie.
Yes.
In between everything.
Yep.
So it's probably one of the best things we've done in a while, collaborations, I should say.
Yeah, I think for what it is, I think it's a good collab. And I like collabing with the indie people.
It is.
And I know in the past there's other filmmakers that have offered their other movies too.
And I think we're at that point.
There's a lot of options right now for putting stuff on video.
And we came up with the name for this, and we actually put the trailer. We put a teaser up on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
We're calling it The Mummy and the Monkeys Nitty Gritty Indie.
So that'll be for more of the gritty movies.
Yeah, not for the kiddies.
Yeah, definitely not for kids.
No, this is all the stuff we wish we could show here.
Parental discretion is advised.
Strongly advised.
For anything we host, really. But with YouTube, we try to keep it for most ages. Yeah. We'll throw in the burps and farts and the innuendo jokes, but we don't get real vulgar on there.
Right. No. And we don't get vulgar.
Well, we're not vulgar, but with this straight to video thing, the movie has some.
Oh, it has everything in it.
Has some stuff that's not for younger audiences.
No. Yes. Unless your kids are into that, which they shouldn't be. But
No.
Anyway,
okay. So, anyways, comments.
Yeah.
There's so much good stuff on the Wasteland film lineup this year.
I know.
Hope you don't conflict with an amazing 35mm slot. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter because
okay. You could always watch it later
and we'll
you
have
pick
copies.
up the Blu-ray.
That's right. We'll have it for sale there. You won't miss a thing.
What's this? Are you making a movie? No, we're hosting a movie,
No,
John.
no.
Well. Yeah, we're hosting a movie.
Yes, we are.
And we would like to make a movie in the future.
That's a possibility.
But we're still trying to figure.
Yeah, no.
We've been trying to figure that out for years.
But anything we put out, like if it's a hosted Blu-ray or a hosted, thing, we call it a project because it is a project. But,
yes.
This is a collaboration where it's a pre-made movie. It's a movie that's already been out.
Yes, it's a movie that's already made.
Yeah.
We're partnering with a filmmaker to host it.
And this all happened since Last Wasteland. He approached us
on a home video disc.
Yeah.
On a Blu-ray.
Yeah, he approached us Last Wasteland and said, "I'd love to do something with you guys. I have a movie. I'd love for you to host it and put out the and he's like very amicable. We had a lot of fun. We'll see, and maybe some cool stuff will come of this after this. But no, I think it's a good thing. I'm very proud of this latest thing we did.
Yep. So, all right, guys, thank you. This wraps everything up for the night. You can chat amongst yourselves if you want to comment further. You could post movie stuff in the Mummy and the Monkey Facebook group if you like.
Yep.
Remember to please hit the like button if you like these kind of videos. And we should have a podcast Sunday night or Monday night. We didn't get to do one this week, so maybe during next week.
I hope so.
Yeah.
A lot going down, but we'll see what happens. But
all
anyway,
right,
but it's been real like it always is. Thanks for chatting with us. And hey, enjoy the weekend. Watch a lot of cool stuff, a lot of scary stuff. Maybe some hairy, scary hangouts that you missed. Go back in our archives and check those out.
There you go.
Or any of our friends on our YouTube. So hey, have a good time.
Good night, good fright, guys. Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye-bye.
See you later, alligators.